Stephen that I didn't see before. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. This is really special, and I'm really excited that we're fitting in this room right now. So yes, Erica, thank you for everything you just said. Thank you so much. I love you too. And yeah, so I turned 32 days ago. Feels really great so far. Yeah, and 30, and yeah, I know, right? And so I lost my voice when I was 21, and a lot of you in this room were not only around for that experience, but actually helped me through parts of that experience. So for whatever part you had in that, thank you. For all of your parts in my life, thank you. And so I basically shut down my 5th chakra for the past 8 years, your throat chakra, and it feels so honestly triumphant to open it up again, because I have been dedicating the last years of my life to helping people express themselves, and it at a certain point started to feel inauthentic that I wasn't doing the same. So I knew on some gut level that this was going to have to happen, and thank you for sharing this moment with me. Yeah, thank you. And let's see, I'm gonna look at my notes to make sure I'm telling you what I want to tell you. So the theme of this show is about coming home. And I mean that in a physical sense. I was initially only going to do this in Northern California at my parents' house, and then my friend Matt Gould, who helped me put this whole thing together, he said, Elissa, you're doing it in our living room in New York City, and I said, okay. And then Erica said, you're doing it in my living room in Los Angeles, and I said, okay. And it makes a lot of sense, because I feel more connected than I ever have to all of the physical homes I have on the planet. I know I didn't move back here to be with you guys in LA, but I feel so connected. Boo! But I feel so connected to you.
This is such a cock tease.
I know, right? I know. I remember 2.5 years ago at my going away party, I was like, I'll be back in 2 years. Yeah, that didn't exactly happen. Sorry. Anyhow, point is, it's about connection to my physical homes on the planet, but it's also very much about coming home to my voice. So thank you for being here. There's something in your eyes, makes me wanna lose myself, makes me wanna lose myself in your arms. like to introduce my wonderful, amazing accompanist, Michael Alfera. And it's been such a pleasure making music. Thank you. Yay, and my foot is cramping, so pardon me for a second. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, that'll be happening. So I lost my voice when I was 21 years old. And the story goes that I had just had mono, and you guys, I don't know how I got it. My boyfriend at the time never got it. It was not the kissing disease for me, okay? But I got mono, and so my immune system was compromised, but at the time I was directing my first full-length production musical, Cabaret, and so I didn't really rest as much as I was supposed to be resting. And last semester, my final semester of senior year at USC rolled around, and I felt better, but I was really concerned because I was about to lose out on my college experience, and there was something very important I hadn't done yet. I had not drunk every day. So I decided that I needed to be drinking every day, and I literally got bottles of Malibu and Midori. Some of you may remember this. I put them on my counter, and I mixed green coconut flavored shit all the time. It was crazy. Yeah, I did. And this lasted for a month because I'm Elissa and this is not me. So it lasted for a month, and
you puked, didn't you?
I didn't puke, actually. What I did was I lost my voice, Benjaro. So what happened was it was the combination of drinking the alcohol, and also I was really pushing to belt What a Feeling from Flashdance in my a cappella group that we were both in. And I was really pushing, and I was at an a cappella retreat the weekend that this happened, and I woke up on Sunday morning, and I felt like I had shards of glass in my throat, and it hurt to swallow, and I could hardly squeak. And halfway through the day, I spat up blood.
Tasty.
Tasty. Yeah, feel free to talk to me, you guys. That's totally fine. We can have a conversation here. So I was obviously very scared, and so I got an emergency appointment to see the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and they scoped my vocal folds, and I actually got 2 opinions, but neither of them were conclusive. They both said, you have severe acid reflux, thank you alcohol, but also you have suffered vocal trauma, which was very mysterious and confusing to me. So I was put on vocal rest for a month. I wasn't allowed to talk. Maybe some of you remember I went around with a little notepad and wrote things down. And when I was well enough, I was sent to speech therapy with Joanna Kasdan over here. Thanks, Joanna. And Joanna has become a friend, a mentor, all of those things since that time. And then I also started Fitzmaurice voice work right after that, and I've got a handful of my Fitzmaurice friends here too. And so I was very confused, and I had to be silent for a while, and I was trying to process all of this, but it was clear to me that my career as a performer was coming to a close, and that I was going to, at the time I focused on directing, and then not too long after that, yes bless you, I focused on teaching as well. And so losing my voice was all about my pushing, right? I mean, I was like, I'll be happy when I can belt the shit out of this song, and I'll be happy when I'm drinking every day, this I'll be happy when thing. And my body responded by saying, hey, this is not how you get something, this doesn't work. And I think that this I'll be happy when thing is perfectionism, right? And it is everything that had been driving me for years. I'm sure everyone in the room is shocked that I'm a recovering perfectionist. And it was everything that had been driving me for years, and here I was face to face with the fact that it didn't work. And I think that's what this next song is about. See my name on the Vegas, please. Gotta get to Vegas. Can you take me to Vegas? Oh, gonna sell my house and cross the border. Somebody told me dreams live in Mexico. I'm gonna sell my house. I got to lose 10 pounds and cross the border. Make sweet love on a white sandy shore. Listen up now, honey, you're gonna be sorry. Can't get out from under a sky that is falling. And you say, no fame, no money, I'm nobody. The way I'm running it sure got me down on my knees. But next up, Vegas, please. It's always just around the corner. Oh, you're on your way to somewhere that is bigger and better. If you could only get there. It's never your fault you can't start your own winning streak. But I'd hate to lose you to the fortune you seek. I wanna sail the ocean. Somebody told me there were cherry blue skies. I'm gonna fix my mind with a final destination. Have a deep sleep up on a sweet dream I'll never realize. Listen up now, honey, you're gonna be sorry. Can't get out from under a sky that is falling. And you say, no fame, no money, I'm nobody. The way I'm running it sure got me down on my knees. But next up, Vegas, please. Vegas, please. Please, can you take me to Vegas? I need to see Vegas. Can you take me to Vegas? Oh, please. I want to teach you something, okay? 'Cause I'm a teacher, right? So I want to teach you something. So there's this idea in somatic theory. There are these 4 fundamental movements, and yes, it's really warm in here. Let's do things with the door and the windows. Yes, I agree. Woo! Yes, I agree. So okay, there are these 4 fundamental movements, and they are yielding, pushing, reaching, and pulling. Okay, let's all try them right now. So everyone yield right where you're sitting. Just like let it go. Try to give over to gravity. Yes, good. Okay, now push. You can imagine you're pushing against a wall. Yes, very good. Now reach. I love the reaching part. I love seeing a room full of people reach. It's so cool. Good. And then pull. You can pull something to you, or you can pull something yourself to something, right? So
I just humped the air.
yeah. So these 4 fundamental movements I think are really, really interesting because they're archetypal, right? We can ask ourselves, am I more of a yielder? Am I more of a puller? All of these things, right? I am really good at pushing. I'm also really good at reaching. Pulling has been challenging for me in my life. Is she trying to pull someone towards her? Pulling has been challenging. Yeah, she totally is, right? Yeah, she's pushing and pulling. So I have been challenged by pulling, and yielding in my life has kind of evaded me for a large portion of my life. And so what was I going to say next? Yes, sorry, I got concerned about her. So yes, what I was going to say is, back in high school was the height of my perfectionism. I was succeeding really well at being a perfectionist. Evelyn knows, she was there. Yes, exactly. So, and I played this one iconic role, this musical theater role that I got a lot of external validation and praise for. And I decided I wanted to sing this song for my cabaret. And when I went back and looked at it from my 29-year-old perspective, I was like, oh, interesting. She's a lot like me. She's a pusher, she's a reacher. She does the doing things as opposed to the being, the yielding, right? And so just in the same way that it doesn't always work out so well for me, it doesn't always work out so well for her. Can everyone see if I sit?
The windows behind you open.
The windows behind me open.
Yeah, if you want to open, there's a little claspy thing.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Side.
Okay.
Claspy thing's gonna change our lives.
Done. It's open. Oh my gosh, yay. Thank you. Okay, so just like it doesn't always work out so well for me, it doesn't always work out so well for her. There you go. Okay. It says here, the average unmarried female, basically insecure, due to some long frustration may react with psychosomatic symptoms, difficult to endure, affecting the upper respiratory tract. In other words, just from waiting around for that plain little band of gold, a poison can develop a cold. You can spray her wherever you figure the streptococcus like. You can give her a shot for whatever she's got, but it just won't work. If she's tired of getting the fisheye from the hotel clerk, a poison can develop a cold. It says here, the female remaining single, just in the legal sense, shows a neurotic tendency, C note, tendency, C note. Oh, C note. Chronic organic syndromes, toxic or hypertense, involving the eye, the ear, the nose, and the throat. In other words, just from worrying whether the wedding is on or off, a poison can develop a cough. You can feed her all day with the vitamin A and the bromo fizz, but the medicine never gets anywhere near where the trouble is. If she's getting a kind of a name for herself and the name ain't his, a poison can develop a cough. And furthermore, just from stalling the wedding trip, a poison can develop love grip. When they get on the train for Niagara and she can hear church bells chime, the compartment is air conditioned and the mood sublime. Then they get off at Saratoga for the 14th time. A poison can develop la grip, la post-nasal drip with the wheezes and the sneezes and a sinus that's really a pip. From a lack of community property and a feeling she's getting too old, a poison can develop a bad cold. Yay. Benjur, I know you can play Nathan Detroit. We'll do the whole show
Did it in
soon.
high school.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so yeah, so thank you, Adelaide, guys and dolls. Okay. So, in addition to the psychosomatic symptom of losing my voice, I also, like Adelaide, have had some difficulty in relationships in my time. And what?
No.
No. And my habit, as I see it, is to push and get into something pretty deep pretty quickly, and then realize it's not it, and spend a while backpedaling out of it. And so in particular, I was in this one pretty challenging relationship, and I remember we were in his car and I was sobbing. I can't remember why I was sobbing, but yeah, but I was definitely sobbing. And he held my face like this, which is so beautiful. I don't know if we do this to each other enough. And he tried to stop me crying, and he said, "Elissa, I love you so much." And I wanted so much for this to be a beautiful moment, but the truth is it actually felt so wrong. And it felt wrong for a lot of reasons, including the fact that the relationship was wrong, but I really started thinking about it a lot because something was off, and what I came to was that I didn't love myself, so I couldn't let him love me. And so I decided to start therapy, and it was good timing, right? And so so yeah, I went to therapy, and at a certain point, my therapist Abby gave me the assignment to go home and look in the mirror and say, Elissa, I love you. And I'm a good student, so I went home and I dutifully looked in the mirror, and I tried to say, Elissa, I love you, and I couldn't say it. I felt like I was gonna dry heave, like I couldn't say it. And that was a really surprising and sad moment, of course. And I think I now understand that this is the dark side of perfectionism. This is what's on the other side of perfectionism. And I knew that this was not okay. And I knew I was not gonna live the rest of my life like this. And I decided that there was something better, and I could do better than that. Situation at the end of our senior year. And like a shot, she and Mitchell got married that summer. Carol Ann getting bigger every minute, thinking, what am I doing here? While every night Mitchell's out being a heavy metal drummer. They got a little cute house on a little cute street with a crucifix on the door. Mitchell got a job at a record store in the mall. Just the typical facts of a typical life in a town on the Eastern Shore. I thought about what I wanted. It wasn't This is what I teach. It's a vibrator. It's actually a vibrator, but it's for your voice. vibrantvoicetechnique.com, or I'll tell you all about it later. Yeah. So that's my advertisement for the show. Okay, good.
Sponsored.
Sponsored by vibrantvoicetechnique.com. So here's the thing. When you're fighting yielding in your life, sometimes circumstances will force you to yield, right? I think a lot of us have experienced this. And so I had really been wanting to study more, and it became clear that I was going to be moving to Edmonton, Alberta, to get my Master of Fine Arts in Theatre Voice Pedagogy.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada! Woo! Go Canadians! And I was leaving my home here in Los Angeles, and so I looked at it as an opportunity to have a retreat, to really slow down for a little bit, and it just so happened it was going to coincide with my Saturn return. Yeah, Erica mentioned this, right? So Saturn return, for those of you that don't know about Saturn, some of you in this room have told me about Saturn, but Saturn is a planet that has it's a planet, yes, and it has a big orbit. It goes around in its orbit every 29 and a half years, right? And there are 12 astrological houses, so when it comes back around for the 2.5 years that it's back in the house that you were born with it in, that's your Saturn return. That's Saturn coming home, right? And Saturn is the planet that governs change, so your Saturn return has a tendency to be a bit tumultuous, right? And it just so happened I was going to be in Edmonton for all of this. So, yeah. So, you know how people talk about those places on the planet that are like these positive vortices of energy? Like there's like Sedona, Arizona, or like Machu Picchu, right? You guys have heard of this idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, Edmonton is not one of those places. It's like kind of actually the opposite of one of those places, in my personal opinion. When I got there, and I'm used to like Los Angeles, I'm used to New York City, I'm used to big cities with a pulse and an energy. But when I got to Edmonton, I really felt that there was, I noticed something energetically about the place. It felt like it was calm, but it also felt like it was solemn or sad. And at one point I was sitting next to a friend who's part Aboriginal, and she said to me, she said, Elissa, I can feel the sadness of the Aboriginal people who were slaughtered here and pushed northward. And it really struck a chord. I was like, oh my God, that's true. I think that's what I've been feeling. So I think maybe Edmonton being the furthest north big Canadian city, there's a lot of that connection to that part of Canada's history. So it was a really challenging place in a lot of ways, but it was also, Edmonton was an incredible teacher in my life. And I think on a cellular level, it taught me to slow down, because I think I'd really been trying to slow down as a concept, but it hadn't sunk in. In fact, I have a distinct memory of a moment where I thought about slowing down, and I was on a train. I was on this epic Eastern European backpacking trip in 2008, and I was on a train, I think between Prague and Vienna, and I was with two of my very best friends, Kristen and Michael, and Michael Schwartz was listening to his headphones, and he took them out of his ears and he held them out to me and he said, Elissa, you need to listen to this. And this is what I heard. realized this as I was putting everything together. I was like, oh, I sing 2 songs about cities in this show, and they both start with a V. How funny is that? Vegas and Vienna. V for vibrator, of course. There are no mistakes. Hashtag there are no mistakes, right? Okay. So, yeah. So in Edmonton, Saturn did hit, and it hit hard. Whoa, it hit hard. So one of the cool things was that David, my professor, asked me to come on board as his business partner in vibrant voice technique. That crazy vibrator thing is his idea. I guess I could have thought of it, but he thought of it. And so he asked me to come on board with that. And then also I had some deep, intense conversations with my parents that brought us closer together. And I had some, deep thinking about who I am as a teacher. And I also met this guy, and everything was perfect, and I was in love, and everything was different, and then it was all the same. It was all what it had been before. So yeah, same patterns, and it was really kicking my butt. So at a certain point, I picked up and I packed a bag and I went on a solo vacation to Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, I had gone for Erica's birthday the year before, and I was like, I'm going back. So I went back to Puerto Vallarta, and I sat on like a lounge chair for a week and just hung out with myself and worked on the book that I'm now working on called How to Make Love to Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book. Yeah, I should keep writing it. Yes. So I'm cheating. Yeah. Oh, I know what's coming next. Yeah. Notes. So this felt like Saturn was enough. Like this felt like this was my Saturn return, and then the next year Saturn got more intense. And what happened was I actually got sick. And the interesting thing is actually when I did this show in New York 2 weeks ago, it was like the largest group of people I'd ever shared this with. I really didn't talk to many people about getting sick last summer because it's one of those things where it's like not so serious, but it's serious, but it's not so serious. So like you don't really talk to people about it. And that was weird for me because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of an oversharer. Like I kind of talk about a lot of things. The deal is I have psoriasis. I've had it my whole life. It's a skin condition where you get these spots. And it's never been that serious. Like put some steroids on it, you're cool. Except that last March I had this massive outbreak of it. I was covered in spots. And it was the final semester of graduate school, and so I was coaching a play, and I was writing my thesis, and I was teaching, and I was doing all of these things, and so I had to just keep living my life and acting like everything was okay, and I could because they weren't really on my forearms or my face too much, so I could put on Edmonton clothes and look normal and power through and act like everything was okay, but everything was not okay, and I was going home every day and feeling itchy and standing in the mirror staring at myself and getting obsessed and getting depressed. And so I was trying to deal with it in the hippie way that I do things with acupuncture and herbs, but it wasn't really working. So I had to succumb to Western medicine, and I went on this evil drug. And the evil drug weakened my immune system so much because, of course, it's an immunosuppressant when psoriasis is already an autoimmune condition. Thank you, Western medicine. And so it weakened my immune system so much. It didn't help the spots. The spots stayed there. The spots got bigger. I was on 14 weeks of this drug, but 2 months later, when I scratched my ankle because I had a mosquito bite, it turned into a staph infection. And at this point, I was like, okay, I've been trying so hard to power through and be strong and be by myself in Edmonton, but I threw my hands in the air and I called my mom and dad and I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm coming home. And I went home to Northern California. And you guys, you know how sick I was? Because I stayed at my parents' house for 6 weeks. I stayed there for 6 whole weeks. I usually can last 4 days. And actually, this is how sick I was. It was so absurd that Michael Schwartz, my friend who I mentioned in Vienna, he's also a photographer. I called Michael. I was like, Michael, will you please come over and do a nude photo shoot of me? Because this is absurd. I am covered in spots. I've never done a nude photo shoot in my life, but now is the time because I look like shit and I want to have documentation of this. So I did my first nude photo shoot. And then I spent the rest of the summer hanging out on the couch trying to process 3 rounds of antibiotics. Yeah, no, I was in my parents' house. I was hanging out, processing antibiotics. I missed a trip to London. I felt powerless. And the interesting thing about this story is 2 weeks ago when I told this story, this is the part where I got to put a pretty bow on it and be like, and then I got better. But interestingly enough, I woke up about a week ago, last Wednesday, and I thought I had a bug bite, and then halfway through the day when my ankle was burning, I was like, oh, my staph infection is back. Interesting timing, really interesting timing. And so I've been thinking about this a lot. And I think there's a really big lesson here. So psoriasis is an autoimmune condition. These are chronic things, and staph infections don't always necessarily clear. And I think there's a lesson about, it's so easy to put our lessons in the past, but I think that this lesson for me is gonna be a lesson that lives in the present. And actually, I wrote something down and I'm not remembering what it was, but when I wrote it down today, I was like, this encapsulates what I want to say. It was that, here it is, we carry our lessons around with us and they don't retire. They don't retire. I'm still dealing with being a perfectionist too, believe it or not, right? So yeah, so that's my thinking on that in this very new, very raw moment. But thankfully, last fall, I did start to feel better. And I knew that Saturn was gonna be leaving Scorpio, my house, on December 22nd. And I was like so ready. And I was gonna have just come home from Edmonton. I was just gonna move back from the States to the States from Edmonton. And so I was gonna be in Carmel, California, one of my favorite places in the world, on a family vacation on that day. So I planned it, and on that day, I walked down onto the beach. I brought some stuff with me, some special stuff, and I like burned some paper and chanted some Sanskrit and like did some rituals, and kind of just said to the sky, thank you, goodbye. If the fish swam out of the ocean and grew legs and they started walking, and the apes climbed down from the trees and grew tall and they started talking, and the stars fell out of the sky and my tears rolled into the ocean. Now I'm looking for a reason why you set my world into motion. You're not really here, then the stars don't even matter. Now I'm filled to the top with fear that it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really here, I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. I look up into the night sky. I see 1,000 eyes staring back, and all around these golden beacons, I see nothing but black. I feel the weight of something beyond them. I don't see what I can feel. If vision is the only validation, then most of my life isn't real. 'Cause if you're not really here, then the stars don't even matter. Now I'm filled to the top with fear that it's all just a bunch of matter. 'Cause if you're not really here, I don't wanna be either. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. I wanna be next to you. Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. The funny part about that song, by the way, is that boyfriend, the one in the car, he put it on a mixed CD for me. Yeah, it's like really funny. Life comes full circle, right? You get what you need. And also that song makes me think of meditation. And I'll just take a quick moment to give a shout out to meditation. I learned Vedic meditation in 2012. I was really curious to develop a practice, and this one works for me. And it was right before my Saturn return started, right before I moved to Edmonton, and thank God I learned it, because seriously, I don't think I would have gotten through that experience without it. So, namaste meditation. Thank you. And so, by the time I started to feel better, I had already sort of had the plan for a while to move to New York City. I'm sure I talked to some of you about it. And I had been going back and forth with my parents, like maybe I would move in January, but maybe I would move later because, you know, I'd been sick and didn't necessarily have enough money in my bank account, and they wanted me to stop relying on my credit cards, fair enough, and like these things, right? So I was like, okay. But then I had the moment where I was like, yes, now is the time to move to New York. I feel better. This is the right thing to do. And so I had this feeling like people would say, why are you going to move to New York? And I was like, well, blah, 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 like there's work there, or blah, 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 I have mentors there. But the real truth is that I felt like my umbilical cord was pulling me there. That's the real truth. And that's actually kind of intense to say to you guys, because I didn't come back to LA, but this is the right thing for me in this moment, right? And I'm sure we can all be cool with that. So anyhow, I was feeling the tug on my umbilical cord. So I sat down with my parents and I said, Mom, Dad, I'm moving to New York in January, definitively. And they said no. And I said, yeah, they said no. They were like, no. And I was like, this. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to rain on my parade? I'll march my band down, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. I guess I didn't make it, but whether I'm the rose of sheer perfection, a freckle on the nose of life's complexion, the cinder or the shiny apple of its eye, I gotta fly once, I gotta try once, only can die once, right, sir. Ooh, love is juicy, juicy, and you see, I gotta have my bite, sir. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade. I'm gonna live and live now. Get what I want, I know how. One roll for the whole shebang. One throw, that bell will go clang. Eye on the target and wham. One shot, one gunshot, and bam! Hey, Mom and Papa, here I am. I'll march my band down, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned down, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march, my heart's a drummer. Nobody, no, nobody is gonna rain on my parade. That is basically what I said. And the funny thing about that moment is I was totally pushing, but pushing can be really valuable when it comes from a deep intuitive place, right? Everything's important. So, yeah, so I moved to New York in January. And since then, honestly, life has been pretty magical. I think when you follow your gut, when you follow your umbilical cord, life unfolds in a really beautiful way for you. And I have more work doing what I love to do, teaching, than I possibly imagined could have happened in the span of time that has happened. And that's a huge payoff after spending my 20s waitressing and nannying and being broke. So I'm so grateful for that. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I've also been able to put together this show. Honestly, this has been a huge focus of the last couple months for me. And yeah, it's been a spiritual process. When I sat down with Matt Gould, my friend who helped me put this together, he was like, Elissa, just let this be your spiritual process. Because of course he could see it in my eyes. I was like, I have to do good, I have to make a show. He was like, just let this be your process. And it took me a couple weeks to soften into that, but then I did. And that's been beautiful. And also, I feel at home. I feel home. I feel connected, more connected to my homes on the planet than I ever have. I feel home with my heart and my guts and my feet on the ground, and I feel so happy to be coming home to my voice, and life feels really beautiful. And I know that things won't always be perfect, but I'm really, really grateful to have made it to 30. You guys are gonna sing along with this one? I'll let you know when it's your turn. Yeah. Rolling down the road, going nowhere, guitar packed in the trunk. Somewhere around mile marker 112, Papa started humming the funk. I got a Jones in my bones before we knew we were singing this melody. Stopped the car, pulled out the guitar, halfway to New Orleans, said take me home. Take me home. Could feel the sun about to rise when I realized we had nothing to fear. It's just me and my daddy and a kid named Cole, making music that nobody could hear. But then the sun lit up and it split the night, split over our Jubilee. 10,000 cars by the side of the road, moving far as the eye can see. Said take me home. Said take me home. Said take me home. Said take me home. Hot damn, I should have felt the groove like I was swimming in the sea of soul. The sun was rising and the day was hot, but he was all about to lose control. My daddy turned his face up toward the sky, and I knew that there was nothing to lose. I felt the crowd breathe in, and I closed my eyes, and we disappeared into the groove. Said, take me home. Said, take me home. Yeah, you guys can do harmony. Said, take me home. Now you keep going, okay? Straight from the water. This is a very important time of the show. This is the part of the show where we take the selfie that will go on Facebook. Yay! Okay, everyone get in. Smile. Yay! Smile, smile. Oh, good. I can actually get most of you in this. Yay! 1, 2, 3, 5. Good. Yes. Oh my God, good. Okay.
Did you have selfie written down?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Ben Drew, I literally have have like drink water in my script so I don't forget. I do it extra, but Matt Gould made fun of me in New York. He was like, you guys, it literally says drink water in her script right now. I was like, yeah, it does. I want to do the thank yous now. Erica, thank you so much for hosting. Yay!
Elissa Saturn return story.
Oh God, really?
Bring it.
Right now, or
Tell it.
Yeah, so I also can relate to the challenges of Saturn return. And before the Elissa sickness, actually I think it was right before you left for Puerto Vallarta, because you were here.
There were 2 different summers. So yes, there was one summer I was here in Puerto Vallarta. Yeah.
And she was here, and she was like, I need to get away, I need to go to Puerto Vallarta, and as Elissa is in her like sobbing Elissa mode, which I've seen before, she was sitting on my couch with tears just like running down her face, and she looked at me and said, I remember when you were going through your Saturn return and I thought you were crazy. And I was like, see, it happens to all of us.
I know. We could probably like have a powwow and all tell our stories.
Of like crying Saturn return.
Of being aged 28 to 30.
The most beautiful like Elissa essence moment. And it was like a couple days, it was like as you were booking your flight to Puerto Vallarta.
Yes, that's
and I remember this like moment of like, I thought you were crazy, and now I'm the crazy one. So I'm glad we're both out of it. I'm glad we're on the other side of it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank God. Yeah. Amazing. And this is also Erica's husband Adam can't be here tonight, but thank you to Adam for hosting too, and he also helped me with the food and everything. Yay, Adam. Yay! And we'll do one big round of applause at the end. But let's applaud for everybody. Yeah. I want to say so much thank you to Michael Alfera. Such a beautiful collaborator. It's been such a joy to make music with you. I also want to thank my singing teacher, Tom Burke, who was maybe going to be here tonight but couldn't make it. And I want to thank all of you for being here, obviously like 8 times, 80 times. And I also want to thank Matt Gould, who I've mentioned multiple times, who helped me put this together. Matt and his partner, Griffin, are the founders of a nonprofit called Uganda Project. And if you didn't notice it, I was like, if you want to make a donation to Uganda Project in honor of my birthday. Uganda Project helps put kids through school in Uganda. And it's really amazing what they're doing. They're giving these kids a chance to access something that they wouldn't be able to access on their own, giving them a voice in the world, if you will. And then also, Griffin and Matt are giving this whole thing a voice because they've been working on a musical for a number of years, formerly called Witness Uganda, and this is how I met them, I was working on it, and now called Invisible Thread. And Invisible Thread is going to be opening at Second Stage Theater in New York City in fall. Yay! Finally, so come visit me in New York and come see the show. I'm so excited about this, so it's very exciting. And also, I'm starting a new online public speaking class. This is my second advertisement of the night. It's called Speak with Confidence, and I have this vision about how I can help reach people across the medium of a computer. And so if you know anyone who might benefit from an online public speaking class, I have cheesy little flyers up here, and I'll totally give you one. Or there's information online, but I just thought I'd put that plug out there because this is something that I'm envisioning building and I'm really excited about. So applause for all of the thank yous. The end of the show. This is the end of the show, but you don't need to ask because I'm going to give you an encore. Don't worry. And listen carefully because I wrote some lyrics this time. I used to have a girlfriend known as Lissy. To be quite frank, she was a little prissy. Her father said she was a donna prima. And when she walked, she looked like a ballerina. With perfectionism she was coping, and then one day something broke her open, and when she stood there seeing what she'd seen, she could never go back to the way she'd been. is sitting alone in your room. Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Down the knitting, the book and the broom. Time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. And as for me, I make my mind up now at 30. When I play, I'm getting dirty. Admitting from cradle to tomb isn't that long a stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Only a cabaret, old chum. And I love a That was closing night, so thank you so much for being here for closing night. Please hang around, have some food, have some drink. I would love to talk to you. I would love to take a selfie with you. And yeah, so hang out. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah!